So I had a number of people asking how I make my little foiled pieces instead of the brass, especially on this piece that I'm working on right now. And my filigree actually is on the inside like this. And so real quick, hopefully, I'm not very good at videoing, I will show you how I'm doing this. First thing you notice is took the pattern off of my form just to make sure it fits, especially on the ones that are a little harder to redo. And because my filigree is on the inside, all my pattern pieces have to be flipped over to the other side like this, and everything is flipped over so that your filigree will be on the inside. Then I have this paper here, and this is actually sticky back paper, and it works really good. And I have a picture of the filigree that's actually backwards on here, and it is like this. So anyway, so now what I do is I take each of my individual pieces that have been flipped over, I set them on the top of my filigree, and using my X-Acto knife, I trace out all of these. So I did one, and here is the second one, and my third one. And no, they're not exact at the moment, but they will be. And then I have, let's see here, what did I do? When I get flipped over, sometimes I get flipped over. I used this one here as a last. So what I just do is I just take it here, kind of line it up on the edges, and then I just take my X-Acto knife and cut that off. And now I have all my pieces that will be for this. So then, and these mats are really nice to cut on. I cut out all my patterns on this. So now I have my sheet foil. And what I'm going to do with my sheet foil, because these are sticky backs, is I'm just going to work with this one piece right here because the rest is pretty similar. And I take my sticky back paper, and I can get this, I got this at Staples, so it's pretty easy to come up with. And I put this on, and this is black back, by the way, because I can kind of see through it. This is black back. So anyways, I take this off. This is sticky, and I put it on here like this. And just that edge that I have showing that I actually cut out, I just cut that out with my X-Acto like this. And then I just kind of sort of cut around the outside. You want to give yourself enough foil around the outside just in case your piece isn't exactly like the filigree. Then I take my piece, I peel off the back of the foil, and then I line it up with the ones that I have mostly cut out, which would be here and right there. Push it all down, flip it over, and then I take and cut this off. And then what I start to do now that I've got this is I just really carefully, and it is time consuming, and it's, you know, it's not a perfect thing, but then I start and see how this part here, I'm skipping, see how it didn't line up exactly right. Good enough. So then what I'll do is I start cutting out my areas that need to be cut out. Okay, to all you die-hard Tiffany fans that need to do things exactly the right way, hey, I'm all for it. I can't afford to do it like that. And a lot of times what I like to do is not available in in something that I can actually obtain commercially. So I'm always having to do that. But see how I'm just following the lines and following the lines and cutting all these little pieces out like this. Now, I'm not going to do this whole thing because it's going to take a bazillion years for me to cut this out. This one's actually going pretty quickly, believe it or not. And you also need to have a really sharp X-Acto knife. So after you're done with this part of it, and I'm just going to do part of this sticky back paper actually comes off pretty easily off of the copper. And so I just do this, and then I'm not going to do all of it, but you take this off the copper, and then you want to do that first, and then you foil around the whole thing, and that kind of holds everything in. That kind of holds everything in place. Then you foil around the outside, and then when you're done, it kind of looks like this. And I foiled the inside of it just because I looked at a bunch of pictures. They do it both ways. If you want to do them on the outside, you don't have to flip your paper over. The sticky back works really well. That's a real quickie, but I think everybody gets the idea of how I do my little filigrees. So to all you people who like to do Tiffany style lamps but can't afford the cost or doing something different, this is a good way of doing it, and hopefully that will work.